Russia finds itself at a critical juncture in its history. The country is walking a diplomatic tightrope, attempting to balance its relationships with the West and the East. This high-stakes strategy is driven by a complex web of factors, including geopolitical ambitions, economic pressures, and the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Russia's actions have far-reaching consequences, not only for its own future, but also for the stability of the global order. The Kremlin's maneuvering is a delicate dance, fraught with risks. On one hand, Russia seeks to maintain its influence in its traditional sphere of interest in Eastern Europe. This ambition is evident in its military actions in Ukraine, which have drawn condemnation and sanctions from the West. On the other hand, Russia recognizes the growing economic and geopolitical clout of China, and sees a strategic imperative in strengthening ties with Beijing. This balancing act presents a formidable challenge for Russian diplomacy. Maintaining cordial relations with both sides while pursuing divergent interests is no easy feat. The Kremlin must navigate the suspicions and sensitivities of both the West and China, all while grappling with the economic fallout of its actions. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine serves as a stark illustration of Russia's complex geopolitical calculus. This conflict is not just a regional issue, but a significant point of tension in international relations, drawing the attention of global powers and international organizations. Recent military movements in the Kursk region highlight the strategic importance of this area. The deployment of tanks and military vehicles, along with the presence of soldiers, underscores the region's role as a critical military hub. Kursk, bordering Ukraine, has emerged as a focal point in the conflict. Its proximity to the border makes it a key location for both defensive and offensive operations, influencing the dynamics of the ongoing war. Russian forces have stepped up their activities in the region, raising concerns about a potential escalation. The increased military drills and presence of troops are clear indicators of Russia's strategic intentions. The significance of Kursk lies in its geographic location. Situated near the border, it serves as a vital point for launching operations and securing supply lines, making it indispensable for military strategy. It serves as a crucial staging ground for Russian military operations in eastern Ukraine. The preparation of military bases and the movement of convoys through Kursk highlight its role in the broader conflict. Control over Kursk provides Russia with a strategic advantage, allowing it to exert pressure on Ukrainian forces and influence the course of the conflict. This control is pivotal for Russia's broader military objectives. The increased military presence in Kursk is a clear signal that Russia remains committed to pursuing its objectives in Ukraine, despite facing stiff resistance and international condemnation. The ongoing exercises and troop movements are a testament to this commitment. The situation in Kursk underscores the high stakes involved in the conflict. The military buildup and tense atmosphere reflect the broader geopolitical struggle playing out in the region. Russia's military actions have far-reaching consequences not only for Ukraine but also for the broader security landscape of Europe. The tensions have prompted responses from NATO and other European nations, highlighting the conflict's international ramifications. The Kremlin's determination to maintain its influence in its near abroad is a key driver of its foreign policy, and the situation in Kursk is a testament to this strategic imperative. The ongoing conflict and military maneuvers are a clear reflection of Russia's broader geopolitical ambitions. Amidst heightened tensions, the United States and Russia recently held talks in Istanbul, a city that has historically been a crossroads of diplomacy and international relations. The choice of Istanbul as the venue is symbolic, reflecting a neutral ground where both parties could engage without the immediate pressures of their respective capitals. These discussions focused exclusively on embassy functions, a seemingly mundane but crucial aspect of international diplomacy. The operations of embassies are the lifeblood of diplomatic relations, facilitating everything from visa processing to cultural exchanges. While these talks did not address the broader political issues dividing the two nations, they offer a glimpse into the current state of US-Russia relations. The presence of both flags side by side is a rare sight these days, symbolizing a fragile thread of communication that still exists. The fact that the talks took place at all is significant, suggesting a willingness on both sides to maintain a semblance of dialogue. Diplomatic handshakes and formal meetings, though often ceremonial, are essential in keeping channels of communication open. However, the limited scope of the talks underscores the deep mistrust and animosity that continues to plague the relationship. The tense discussions and serious faces of the officials involved highlight the underlying issues that remain unresolved. The focus on technical matters such as visa issuance and diplomatic immunity highlights the low point to which US-Russia relations have sunk. These are fundamental issues that affect the day-to-day operations of diplomats and citizens alike, yet they are now the primary topics of discussion. The talks are unlikely to herald a broader thaw in relations, but they do provide a channel for communication on practical matters, which is essential for preventing misunderstandings and managing tensions. Outdoor meetings and casual conversations between officials can sometimes pave the way for more substantial negotiations in the future. The Istanbul talks are just the latest chapter in a long and complicated history of US-Russia diplomacy. Historical meeting locations and old photos remind us of the numerous attempts at dialogue and the cyclical nature of their relationship. The two nations have been locked in a cycle of confrontation and cooperation since the end of the Cold War, and the current state of relations is perhaps the most fraught in decades. Cold War memorials and historical landmarks serve as a stark reminder of the enduring legacy of their rivalry. Finding a way to manage this complex relationship is essential for global stability, but the path forward remains unclear. Global stability landmarks and peace monuments underscore the high stakes involved, as the world watches closely, hoping for a resolution that can bring lasting peace and cooperation. The conflict in Ukraine has come at a significant economic cost for Russia. The repercussions have been felt across various sectors, from finance to everyday consumer goods. International sanctions imposed in response to the invasion have crippled the Russian economy, leading to a sharp decline in the value of the ruble, soaring inflation, and a general sense of economic instability. The sanctions have resulted in a contraction in economic output, with many businesses closing down and construction projects coming to a halt. The average Russian citizen is feeling the pinch, with long queues at food markets becoming a common sight. These economic woes have forced the Kremlin to reassess its economic partnerships and seek new avenues for growth. The government is actively looking for ways to mitigate the impact of these sanctions. Faced with Western sanctions, Russia has increasingly turned towards China as a vital economic lifeline. The two nations have a long history of cooperation, but recent events have brought them even closer. The two countries have deepened their economic cooperation in recent years, engaging in joint ventures and large-scale projects that benefit both sides. This partnership is seen as mutually advantageous. China has emerged as a major market for Russian energy exports, including oil and natural gas. This has provided a much-needed boost to the Russian economy, which heavily relies on its energy sector. Additionally, China has become a significant source of investment in key sectors of the Russian economy, such as manufacturing and infrastructure. This influx of capital is helping to stabilize the economic situation. This burgeoning economic relationship gives Beijing significant leverage over Moscow, allowing China to influence Russian economic policies to some extent. This growing dependence on China raises concerns in the West about the geopolitical implications. Western nations are wary of the increasing influence China has over Russia. However, Russia is wary of becoming overly reliant on China. The Kremlin understands the risks of putting all its economic eggs in one basket. The Kremlin is pursuing a strategy of diversifying its economic partnerships, seeking new markets for its exports, and reducing its dependence on any single country. Russia is actively looking for new markets for its exports, aiming to establish trade relationships with countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. The country is also working to attract investment from nations not aligned with the West, offering incentives and creating special economic zones to lure foreign capital. This strategy reflects Russia's desire to maintain its economic independence and avoid becoming overly beholden to any one partner. The Kremlin is keen on ensuring that it has multiple avenues for economic growth. By diversifying its economic partnerships, Russia aims to create a more resilient economy that can withstand external pressures and continue to grow despite the challenges it faces. In the intricate web of international relations, trust is a rare and precious commodity. When nations operate under a cloud of suspicion, the stakes are incredibly high. A single misstep can escalate tensions, leading to unintended consequences. For Russia, navigating these treacherous waters requires a delicate balance of strength and diplomacy. It's a high-wire act where the risks are ever present, and the margin for error is slim. Yet, Through calculated moves and strategic alliances, Russia aims to mitigate these risks, striving for stability in an unpredictable world. Russia's strategic maneuvers have significantly influenced global trade wars and the dynamics within NATO. By leveraging its vast natural resources and forming key alliances, Russia has managed to assert its influence on the global stage. This has, in turn, prompted NATO to recalibrate its strategies and fortify its defenses. According to leading geopolitical analysts, Russia's actions are not just reactive but are part of a long-term strategy. These experts highlight that Russia's geopolitical calculations are deeply rooted in its historical context and its desire to regain its superpower status. This perspective helps in understanding the broader implications of Russia's moves on the global chessboard. Over the years, Russia has meticulously charted its course in international diplomacy. Through a combination of hard power, such as military interventions, and soft power, including cultural exchanges and media influence, Russia has sought to expand its reach and reshape global alliances. This approach has allowed Russia to maintain a pivotal role in international affairs. As we witness the unfolding narrative of global power dynamics, it becomes evident that Russia's actions are reshaping the world order. The interplay between economic sanctions, military posturing, and diplomatic negotiations continues to evolve, with Russia at the center of many of these developments. The future of global power dynamics remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: Russia will continue to be a key player in the international arena.